everyone. Okay, I just need to rant. I just really need to rant. Okay, so as most of you should know by now, I've really gotten into Song of Ice and Fire, Game of Thrones, Westeros, George R. R. Martin, that thing. Really gotten into it. So, when I really get into something, I create journals for it. Just here. And I've got 2 so far, and the 3rd will be started because it's been ridiculous. There's so many characters in this dang thing. So, to help myself, I've been doing this, where I've been just doing like a handy little guide on all the characters I think are probably going to be important. So, like, there's Rickon Stark. I'm really hoping in the books he does something like, woof! But that's off topic. Anyway, so I've gotten through all the regions of Westeros, barring the north of the wall itself, and the Crownlands. So I'm doing everything below the wall first. So I started at the north and I've worked my way down, but the last thing I'm doing is the Crownlands, which I know is not at the bottom. Dawn is at the bottom, believe me, I know. But the Crownlands are just a little bit more complicated because as of like the beginning of the Game of Thrones, the Baratheons are in power, not the Targaryens, and they're the ones that founded the Crownlands. So I just decided to put them at the end. Anyway, that is not my point. I am up to the Targaryens and get so what I do is with the region is I print off pictures of all the people that are important, so that will include the major families that are in charge of that particular region and all their vassals. So I'm up to the Targaryens. And I'm slowly going crazy. Last night I was cutting up the pictures that I had done, thinking that I had done all of them. I now had every single Targaryen that I thought did something important to the history of Westeros. I was wrong. And I gave myself a blistering headache trying to figure out which one did something actually significant. Because the Targaryens, and honestly a lot of the families of Westeros, but because we know the most about the Targaryens and they interbreed, it's a lot worse. They like to name themselves after their ancestors. So do you know how many Aegons, Viserys, Rhaenys, Rhaenys are? There's various things for that. It's various variations. Do you know how many there are? Do you? Because it gets really confusing when you get to the point where it's Aegon the unworthy or whether it's Aegon the unlikely. One is the 10th Lord of the King of the 7 Kingdoms and the other is something else of the 7 Kingdoms. And it gets really confusing. And then there were 2 queens who were nearly the ruler of the realm. There were 2. There's Rhaenys, I think, who's the queen who never was, and then there's Rhaena, Rhys. I really don't know how to pronounce these names, which doesn't help the situation. Who was the queen of half a year, the Realm's Delight, and something else. She had a bunch of nicknames. But they are 2 different people. I did not realize this at first. Imagine my headache trying to put these families into chronological order when I think that is the same person when there is a generation in between the 2. Kind of. It gets really confusing with generations, to be honest. Because the number of times where, it'll go through, one branch of the family, then they all die, and then it will go to the brother. So it's it kind of went through a generation, but then you've gone to a brother, so it's you've gone back a generation, which does not help my confusion. So, long story not made short, I want to punch George R. R. Martin in the face, because apparently the Targaryens do not know the definition of originality. And for those of you who are saying, oh, but Daenerys is the first of her name, she's not actually the first Daenerys. There's 3 other Daeneryses. The only thing that I think that makes her the first of her name is she's Daenerys Stormborn. She has a nickname, so that makes her special. because not all of them get nicknames. And yes, every single name I'm pretty sure that has been used for a Targaryen has been used at least twice. At least. If it's Aegon or Viserys or something like that, then it'll have been used like 6 times. And so I get really, really confused as to which one we're talking about. Especially when they don't have nicknames. And then, because like there's Darien, and then the layout on Wiki, which is what I use to find them and get the pictures, because you know it's helpfully with the thing, is really confusing because the way they've laid it out is you got Darien the Good in 2 different sections on the list for historical members. And so I have to remind myself that this is the same person, not just a person with the same name and the same nickname. No, this is the same person. Do you know how many Aegons there are? Honestly, it does my nutting, because there's Aegon the Conqueror, Aegon the Dragon Knight, Aegon the Unworthy, Aegon the Unlikely. I'm not even listing all of them. There are so many Aegons. Or is it Aemon the Dragon Knight? You see it? Because Aegon, or it's Aegon, and then Aemon. It's like almost the same name. They do this as well. Like, not only do we have names repeated, we have names that sound almost the exact damn same. Which is why I thought Rhaenys and Rhaena, I probably got the name wrong and completely mispronounced, to be perfectly honest with you. Honestly, I wanted to record this video after I had put them all together. But I need to wait for the 3rd book to arrive, and it looks like it's not arriving today, sadly, so it's not happening this weekend, because I don't think somehow, because this is the 2nd book, there's enough space in this one that's left over for the entirety of the Targaryen dynasty. I do not think this is enough space. This is very sad, because it's happened with the other book. I've got this awkward space at the end that I'm like, I can't fit anything else. And I've also learned that most of the Targaryens are nuts. There's like 2 that I think were okay. There's Jaehaerys the Conciliator, who I'm like the biggest fan of. He's awesome. And there's Darien the Good. He's actually pretty... He was pretty good, except that his freaking half-brother tried to take the throne from him. Which wasn't wonderful. Because their father, Viserys II, I think, didn't like his son because he was too bookish for his tastes. And so he legitimized one of his bastards who he felt embodied the Targaryens better. But he never formally made him his heir, so when he died, Darien took the throne, and then like 10 years later, his half-brother finally decided, no, Dad wanted me to be king, I'm gonna take over, and then yeah, that was Daemon Blackfyre, wasn't it? That was the first Blackfyre rebellion, and that's a whole other thing, the rebellions with the Blackfyres, that's gonna do my nutting too. So, long story made short, people of Westeros need freaking originality if they're going to be interbreeding. You really do. Like, granted, I will say this. I did realize that while there were a lot of inbred marriages in the Targaryens, there were more non-inbred marriages than I was anticipating. They seem to like to breed with the Valyrians a lot, which actually makes sense, because that's one of the Crown Lords, and they're actually claimed to be descended from Valyria as well. So that's like getting that old Valyrian blood in it. And then there's the Martells a couple of times, like Darien the Good married a Martell and married his sister to a Martell in order to consolidate Dorne into the 7 Kingdoms. And I was like, good on you. But there's also a lot of inbreeding. And then there's freaking Baelor the Blessed. I have many issues with this man. Not the least of which that he managed to kill himself by starving himself in religious fever. Of all the things! Like, yes, I get fasting. I do that every time around Easter when we get into Lent. But God doesn't expect me to starve myself to death for him. And I've also got, so the other sections I've left to do is the Wall, so the Night's Watch north of the Wall, and I'm also going to do the different religions in Westeros, and then I guess I'm on to Essos. I'm not that interested in Essos, to be perfectly honest with you. I might only do a partial glance at it, but I will have it there because it is part of the known world. Yeah, this is pretty much it for the video. It's just me ranting about the freaking Targaryens. Because I haven't had this much trouble with any of the other ones. So to be fair, I don't think I got this extensive in with any of the others, including the Starks. I've got Bran the Builder, and then I jumped straight to Rickard Stark. I completely skipped, like, the Hungry Wolf. Which, to be honest, I'm kind of regretting now, so maybe in the back of this one, with the end pages, I might just do some historical figures for the Starks, because I feel like I should do more than just Bran the Builder, you know? I've got a printer now, so I can print things off at home. They're nowhere near as good quality as Officeworks, so probably what's going to happen is those are just going to be placeholders, and then I'll reprint all of those documents as... Crap, I should have saved that document. At Officeworks. I just realized I deleted a document I shouldn't have because now I have to do it all over again. And that's gonna get me nuts. Anyway, this was a very random video. I hope you enjoyed, I guess. I found it cathartic, and I'm probably going to do another one when I finish these 3 journals. I will figure out a method to film my journals so that you guys can see them, because I'm very, very proud of my journals, okay? They're turning out fabulously. Like, really, really well, except for the occasional skipped page, which actually worked out in my favor in this one, because I forgot a couple of important houses in the Westerlands, like the Lock, and that sort of thing. So I was able to slip them in on those pages that I accidentally left blank, but still, it annoys me. Anyway, if you did enjoy this video, like, leave a comment, maybe even subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you next time. Bye!